Will the iPhone 17 Pro be big and orange? We put together all the rumors. The new Pro might have a better camera and a better screen. Let's go over what we know thus far. The new iPhone is probably only a few months away from coming out, and rumors regarding an iPhone 17 Pro have been growing. There has been a lot of talk about an ultra-thin iPhone 17 Air, but the Pro models usually have more advanced capabilities. There are rumors about an A19 Pro chip and a 48-megapixel telephoto lens, as well as a new color that is startling. There are also rumors that the Pro could get the highly sought-after scratch-resistant anti-reflective display. More on that later. And even though timing and details are still up in the air, US President Donald Trump's tariffs are still a big deal as people wait for the rumored iPhone 17. Each day brings additional uncertainty about how much tariffs could raise the price of an iPhone, including a 25% penalty that Trump targeted at Apple after it said US iPhone manufacturing will relocate to India, not the US, to avoid Chinese duties. We're keeping track of all the biggest rumors and leaks about the iPhone 17 Pro till then and reporting what we've heard so far. The iPhone 17 Pro's camera has been the subject of many reported alterations, most notably that Apple could add a horizontal camera bar that spans across the width of the phone. The front-facing selfie camera could possibly be getting an upgrade. In January, Boo uploaded a leaked image on X indicating that the phone could sport a pill-shaped camera bar that looks a lot like the camera bar on Google's Pixel 9 phone. That sparked the question of whether the iPhone 17 Pro would arrange the 3 camera lenses in a single row or leave them stacked in a pyramid configuration, as it did with the iPhone 16 Pro. Pooh wrote in March that the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max will sport a 48-megapixel telephoto rear camera, up from 12 megapixels on the iPhone 16 Pro models. That would mean all 3 cameras on the iPhone 17 Pro variants, wide-angle, ultra-wide, and telephoto, would be 48 megapixels. And as for your selfies, researcher Jeff Pugh predicts that the front-facing camera will be increased from 12 megapixels on the iPhone 16 to 24 megapixels on all iPhone 17 models. Front Page Tech claimed in April that the iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max may also incorporate a built-in video function that allows users to film with the front and rear cameras simultaneously. The functionality would enable you to overlay a shot of your face over an outward-facing video. Pro screens could receive anti-reflective improvement. On July 16, McRumors claimed a reliable source in saying that the Pro and Pro Max could gain a scratch-resistant anti-reflective display, reversing itself on previous rumors that Apple had to shelve plans owing to scaling concerns. If the latest rumor proves accurate, the improvement from Apple's ceramic shield display could offer an intriguing feature for the Pro and Pro Max. Apple Insider revealed in May that the iPhone 17 could feature a bigger display than the iPhone 16. DSCC founder and Counterpoint Research VP Ross Young tweeted on X that the base iPhone 17 will be 6.3 inches, an improvement from the iPhone 16's 6.1-inch display. In principle, that means the iPhone 17 would have the same screen size as the iPhone 17 Pro. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are speculated to continue with a 6.3-inch and 6.9-inch display, respectively, comparable to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. The latest reports about the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max design involve colorful advancements and a redesigned frame composition. Orange is among the Pro color lineup. Rumors about a new color for the iPhone arose in April, when Twitter user and leaker Majin Buu, not the Dragon Ball Z character, claimed that the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max could get a sky blue option. But on July 14, Buu claimed that Apple is dropping sky blue for the Pro models, with just the anticipated iPhone Air claiming the shade. Then on July 17, Buu shared on X a shot of Pro mockups in 4 colors: black, silver, dark blue, orange. Digital blogger Weibo later reported that one of the hues is related to the liquid glass design of iOS 26, suggesting it would be white, but with changing visual effects depending on which light it was in. For context, the iPhone 16 and Plus made a splash last year when they unveiled pink, teal, and ultramarine color options, beside the normal white and black. The iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max featured a new hue, Desert Titanium, a subdued shade of peach, alongside the original natural titanium, white titanium, and black titanium options. The Pro models have usually had more muted hues, so the potential of an orange or glass-inspired color might offer an interesting new design for the Pro. The Apple logo on the rear of the phone may be moving lower on the Pro variants, as indicated in a Boo post on X of an iPhone 17 mockup. The change in placement is apparently planned to make room for the larger camera bump design. Improved audio quality. On June 2, WEFTech reported the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max would get taller earpieces, citing a post on X from Duanru 1205. In principle, that may signify enhanced audio clarity. At the Worldwide Developers Conference later in June, Apple announced audio quality will increase with software updates in AirPods with H2 chipsets. More RAM for the iPhone 17 lineup. Apple Intelligence and AI are set to play increasingly prominent roles with the iPhone 17. To support the new capabilities, all the iPhone 17 models will move up to 12 gigs of RAM, Tipster Digital Chat Station said in April. Kuo has also said this could happen, according to Digital Trends. Considering that the iPhone 16 series has 8 gigs of RAM across all models, this may be a substantial boost for the iPhone 17. Aluminum frames for all, except Air. There's been much talk about whether the iPhone 17 Pro may shed its titanium alloy chassis for an aluminum one. In February, rumours reported that Pew expected that the iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Pro, and iPhone 17 Pro Max will have all metal frames or maybe half glass and part aluminum for enhanced durability. The iPhone 17 Air would stay with Apple's current titanium frame, or potentially a blend of titanium and aluminum. Dynamic island size in doubt. Pu anticipated in May that all iPhone 17 models will employ a new metal lens technology for the proximity sensor, which might result in a smaller Face ID sensor and dynamic island. However, Pu's story contradicts Kuo, who said that the iPhone 17's dynamic island would stay largely unchanged compared to the iPhone 16. The iPhone 17 Pro line may be thicker, 8.725mm, compared with the iPhone 16 Pro, which comes in at 8.25mm thick. That greater size might perhaps provide a place for more batteries. In a post on X on July 11, Majin Buu displayed a video of a case for a thicker iPhone 17 Pro model, with the design presumably based on the iPhone 17 Pro's speculated dimensions. There's been some back and forth about the chip for the remainder of the iPhone 17 series, but speculations have consistently given the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max the A19 Pro chip. More recently, rumours stated that a Weibo account identified as Fixed Focus Digital indicated the iPhone 17 Air will also come with an A19 Pro CPU, like the Pro variants. But the Air would get a 5-core GPU, according to the speculation, and the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max would get a 6-core GPU. An improved GPU could boost graphics and video rendering. Battery life could gain a major increase. What good is a new phone if it doesn't last all day, right? The iPhone 17 Pro Max would get the biggest ever battery in an iPhone, the Weibo leaker known as Instant Digital revealed in a post on X, as reported by rumours. However, the blog emphasized Instant Digital's weak record with Apple speculations. If the Pro's proportions are identical to the Pro Max's, as they're believed to be, it stands to reason that the Pro may get the bigger battery too. And Majin Buu reported on July 3 that the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max will incorporate a vapor chamber cooling mechanism, which could help prevent the bigger battery from overheating. In the previous several years, Apple has typically introduced its new phones on the first Tuesday of September after Labor Day. However, the first Tuesday is the day after Labor Day in 2025, so that might push the date for the iPhone event to Wednesday, September 3, or Tuesday, September 9. That would suggest a release date of September 12 or 19. This likely will be the case with the complete iPhone 17 lineup, with the exception of the iPhone 17e, which could arrive in early 2026, according to Apple analyst Ming-Che Kuo and a story from The Information. The iPhone 17 range may be the final to follow this fall release model. Starting with the iPhone 18, Apple will reportedly separate its phone releases so that lower-cost iPhones launch in the early part of the year and the higher-end Pro models become available later in the year. But that isn't scheduled to happen until 2026. Thus, you can likely still expect the iPhone 17 Pro to be available this fall. Pre-orders for a new iPhone normally begin the Friday after the announcement, with the phone shipping a week later. Based on the projected announcement on September 3 or 9, the presale date might be either September 5 or 12. Trump has raised, decreased, and postponed tariffs a dizzying number of times since February, all of which could affect the pricing of the iPhone 17 Pro. Apple, which claims it could transfer much of U.S. iPhone manufacture from China to India, has evaded many of the tariff hikes thanks to a reciprocal tax exemption list that includes numerous phones, laptops, and other gadgets that Apple produces. However, all the reprieves look to be temporary, so reciprocal tariffs might still affect costs by the time the iPhone 17 is announced. Trump threatened Apple with a 25% tariff on any headphones built outside the nation in a social media tweet on May 23. Later that day, he indicated that all cell phones, not just iPhones, would be whacked with the 25% levy by the end of June if they don't shift operations to the US. Regardless of how tariffs play out, Apple expects to boost iPhone prices later this year, the Wall Street Journal said. Apple presumably aims to attribute the price hike to greater features and design costs, so it can avoid pointing the finger at tariffs and facing the anger of Trump, as Amazon momentarily did. Holland points out that the iPhone is overdue for a price rise. He added that Apple had never adjusted the pricing for an iPhone Pro, $999, since the iPhone X was first offered in 2017. So, what do you think about these fresh speculations concerning the iPhone 17 line? Let us know in the comments.